They call him Korean Schweitzer. He was a doctor of God who practiced medicine based on her Christian faith, and practiced the love of God. It was a beautiful senior of faith. As a physician, he spent his life pursuing a beautiful society that showed the love of God and lived together with it. He worked hard to give poor people access to medical care, and she set the foundations for Korean health care. And his impact on Korean health care and the Korean faith was truly remarkable. In recognition of his contribution to serving society with love, he was awarded the Dongbik-jang National Medal of Merit, the Mok Sai Community Service Award, the Humanitarian Practicing Physician Award, and many more. He was a true apostle of love who showed the world what God's love was all about. There are many touching stories about Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo. One day, he heard about a patient in need of a liver transplant at his hospital. He heard about it and donated a part of his liver himself. In this sense, based on the Christian faith, he actively practiced the love of Jesus by treating the suffering of his patients as his own. As a doctor, he first demonstrated sacrifice, and by showing the love of agape, he deeply moved many people. One day, a patient came to him and said to Jang Ki-ryeo, "Doctor, I don't have any money right now, but I'll pay you back when I make some. So please help me out. I have to plant my plants tomorrow, and if they don't let me out, I'm going to ruin my whole year." He thought about what the farmer said, and he said to him, "I'll leave the gate open tonight. You can sneak out then." According to hospital rules, if you don't pay, you can't be discharged. Since you don't have money, you have to work even if you have to run away to take care of your family. He even put the money in his hand. The farmer was so grateful that he cried. One day, a businessman came to the hospital and made a donation. "I came back 48 years ago because I owed the hospital. My late mother always told me, my family owes Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo a great debt, and we must repay him someday. That's what she always told me, so I'm here today with a donation." The traces of his love have become a debt of love that many people will never forget. Another malnourished patient complained that he had no money to buy food, let alone medicine. Then he wrote this on his prescription: "Please pay this patient for 2 chickens." And it was a very moving prescription that showed his love for his patients. One time, he passed by Myeongdong Cathedral, and a beggar asked him for money, and he gave him his entire paycheck right there. But when the beggar tried to cash the check, he was mistaken for a thief and arrested by the police. In the end, Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo had to go to the police station and explain to them, "Yes, I gave it to him." That's why it moved many police officers and people. Like a fool, Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo helped the poor, marginalized, and in need. He cherished each person's soul and never gave up on anyone. That's why he called himself the Idiot Doctor. His life was a beautiful example of Jesus and the love of God. Even though he suffered from diabetes at a late age, he lived on the rooftop of a 20 square meter at Goshen University Gospel Hospital and practiced medicine as best he could for the poor. He was known as the rooftop doctor. And yet, like the Apostle Paul, he was always self-sufficient. never greedy for material things or money, never self-interested or self-interested. He said modestly, "I have far too much compared to Gandhi, who died and left me with nothing but a spinning wheel." Many believers pray that Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo's life will become their own, and they see him as a mentor to their faith. Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo introduced himself as Dr. Idiot, but people remember him as a Korean Schweitzer. He was a genius surgeon, he was a man of faith. And he was the most wonderful, beautiful doctor of God who gave all that he had to his neighbors with the love of God. His life was full of love, and we should all take a page out of his book. Dearly beloved, as long as God loved us like this, we too deserve to love one another, never having seen God, but if we love one another, God dwells within us, and his love is made whole within us. 1 John 4 verse 11 to 12. Thank you. I hope you live a life that fully fulfills God's love like Dr. Jang Ki-ryeo.